doctor's office.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. First item of business this morning is our minutes.
No,
Oh, that's right, forgot, you told me that last night. Linda is trying to get, all of her election stuff ready, so. Minutes will come next week or so. Bills and payroll. Should be just bills. This one was just taking care of the unemployment pieces of it. Cannot believe it's May already.
Questions on the predator control, how can we have two?
Do not know.
Same line item,
Yeah.
two different invoices?
Unless they had two different invoices with it, and that may be, and do some checking on that one, but.
Yeah.
Cause the five, yeah,
And I didn't think they were, the
no,
fee
it's,
was that much.
Well, we will have to take a look. There's a contracted fee, but then there are some kinds of activities that he does that are outside of that.
Okay,
But
So-
but I agree, we're gonna take a look
Yeah.
at
yeah, we
this.
need to,
but the bad issue that he took care of kind of showed up way earlier than this, so I don't know.
yeah, because we had the one deal last year at the armory, and I guess we're gonna probably have one
With the backs,
coming up,
yeah.
So
Do we think we just have one over there, or do we have,
if there's one, there's probably more, would be my guess.
bats give me the creeps, I just.
I think they're cool. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Otherwise, I don't have any specific questions.
Getting more fast. Yeah. They like those vacation policies. More water, you got to show them some hills.
So I thought we were doing our training internally for the police, for the sheriff's department, but I see that we have $1,300 to Lahana Fire Department, Lahana Police Department, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that was, it's for a training. It's a membership to a training facility. It was what I gleaned from that. I didn't get a chance to look it up on Tyler, but
It says training
What was there?
facility member.
yeah.
All of the hard copies of the bills are still sitting in the
Yeah,
finance office. We want to take a look specifically.
yeah, that's probably another one we need to look at.
And then
I
like we're in
think I
the training,
understand.
I assume he's headed there and they've just prepaid his registration, because it
Yeah.
says 5924, so I'm assuming that's where it's going to.
Yeah.
So, Madam Chair, I would move that we approve, the bills from April 24th.
I second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
opposed, motion passes.
Is Betty coming in again today for the?
I can go get her.
Okay, I was just curious.
That's basically,
Finishing up.
I just want you to make a different motion.
Yeah, no, I understood.
And she thought it was all done, I'm like, no, we need to do something,
Okay.
so I can put it, so I can get it.
So you can put it to rest, so you can put it to
Yes.
rest.
Yeah,
Very good.
we'll get it figured out here. Okay, next item of business is the BSO report. It's increasing, yeah, I was gonna say it's increasing the number of.
Yes.
So, the BSO report just kind of tells us what he's been doing, and so his telephone calls, he's had 103, emails 128, appointments 14, 2 outreach events, estimating about 42 people attending. So the total number served is 287.
Our veteran service officer has just been doing a fantastic job.
I know,
And
there's one.
it was with both us and, Otero County.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I so moved.
I would second that.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, so this is in reference to the Ron Hoffman. It was originally submitted as Ron was doing the subdivision, but it was actually ITI. So we went ahead and got that corrected. So ITI submitted the application for exemption from definition of subdivision. And they are taking 23.39 acres from a total of 157.75 acres, and Ron and Linda are going to buy the 23.39. So, we already had that signed, but we just needed to come back and,
Get it from the people who really needed to be.
Yeah.
Finding it.
and then come back and.
Yeah, the motion.
Yeah. So, that's been sent and it's in hold right now, so this is a go.
Okay. So, Madam Chair, I would move that we would approve the subdivision exemption that was filed by ITI on behalf of, their, agreement with, Ronnie and Linda Hoffman.
I second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And you don't need a separate signature.
No.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, the Blue Scope contract. Which is with East Road Bridge.
For the building,
Yes.
This, well,
Well, this is just the beginning
Plans.
pieces.
yeah, for the, yes, for the plan, but yes, for that project. So I would say that I really appreciate the hard work that was done by our county attorney and the attorneys for Blue Scope to get this agreement in a place where it was going to protect the county and guide the project in a good way. I think we've ended up in a good place. And we did take the opportunity yesterday to compare what we had from our attorney with what we got online that will actually be signing if we approve this today. So, it was a lot of hard work before we get here.
Yep.
So,
Took them a while, but they got it.
yeah.
Here's a copy, if you guys need to look at it, and if you get, all of you want a copy, we'll get it to you.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You're able to get the blueprints, architecture, that's what I
Yes,
thought.
yeah, that was part of what we,
Yeah, that was that intellectual property that it really does, it does need to be able to be utilized by the county
Right.
for the purposes of the project. So, yes, we were able to get there. Thank you.
so is there a motion to enter into the Blue Scope contract as presented?
So moved.
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
So I assume that you're okay with
Good
me.
morning.
Hi Reagan, how are you this morning? Very well. Good, come on in.
Wait, this is an East End heavy meeting today.
Hey, East End rocks. Don't see anybody from Road 17 here. Or Maple, come on, guys, you're slipping here. So if it's all right with you guys, then I will do the DocuSign this afternoon, or as soon as we're done with the meeting and get that taken care of. But while we're still here, Craig has asked to set up a meeting for next week. The three of us can look at our calendars, maybe easier just for a second.
And I think that's what I sent you the email about last week, right? So I
Right.
told the email I
Last
sent, so I
night,
don't have
yeah,
to,
or yesterday, yeah.
yeah.
Except for Wednesday afternoon, I was.
Same,
available for
on
all
same.
those.
I can do Wednesday morning, I cannot do Wednesday afternoon either. I could do, Tuesday, we could do it during our regular, well, but that throws out our road and bridge if we want them in. So Monday and Tuesday, they're trying to get that 34 finished.
Okay,
So possibly Wednesday morning would be about our best bet.
As long as we're done by.
no,
11.
that does not work for, that's not one of the dates I gave you. I'm not available on Wednesday. morning.
Yeah, I think you were just open on Wednesday afternoon and that was a bad time for me. So,
Yeah, and mine too.
Sabrina and-
So,
So truly, my dates that I said are Thursday afternoon or anytime on Friday next week.
okay, so for right now, I do not know what my Simtech grants are gonna look like.
Okay,
So do we want to try for? We can try for early Thursday afternoon.
That's at 16.
Yeah, because I have,
oh, wait a minute, you're looking at the 16th, not the 9th?
no, I'm looking at the night.
Okay,
Okay,
well, I'm still, the afternoon's good and all day Friday.
yeah, so Thursday afternoon, the 9th is also good for me.
Okay, it's not for me, but I don't know what grant ones I have to do yet, so. I would hope to get them to me yet, but anyway. So let's tentatively plan for 1 o'clock on Thursday afternoon.
And then on that same email, you asked to schedule something with Lama.
Yeah, but we can do that a little bit later. He just said in the next two, so,
That was 1 o'clock, right?
yes.
Yeah, well, so I already gave you my dates on that too. If you want to just schedule it and then let me know, that would be great.
Um. Okay, let's go on to the East Road Bridge resignation.
So Madam Chair, I would move that we would accept the resignation that was tendered by our road and bridge foreman, Doug Sykes. Who's indicated that this would be effective as of May 15th. Well, effective immediately, but his last day will be May 15th. And that we would accept that letter to the regard.
I second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor,
Aye.
opposed, motion passes.
And then you talked a little bit about the temporary plan.
Before we go into the interim. So, the plan right now is, Monty Canfield has basically kind of been the one that's next in command, if you will. He is a little concerned about trying to handle, as he calls it, the political side of it, but mainly the funds and dealing with all the other kinds of things. So he is willing to step up and do the day-to-day things for right now until we do have someone eligible, and hopefully he'll decide that that's what he wants to do, but at any rate, so kind of the plan right now is that Monty and I will work closely together. I'll try to take care of the phone calls and,
Thank you.
and then, he and I'll converse back and forth several times during the day, just to kind of make sure that we're on, if there's an emergency, we'll take care of it immediately. And then, help him a little bit with the emails and the codings for the bills and things until he kind of gets his feet under him. And Doug is also working with him right now to just make sure, of kind of what's going on. So trying to keep that as much as possible. We also have chip sealing coming up. And, that is going to be, it's all men on deck. It takes all 12 of them basically, so we're obviously gonna be shorthanded. One of the other things is I know that one of the East Road and Bridge has to have shoulder surgery about the same time. And so we are looking at the possibility of having to move that around a little bit. Doug is working on that with Robert right now, just to kind of figure out how they can make that work without being short several men. And then, Curtis is aware, and Curtis Smith is aware Doug's going to with,
Fort Line.
Fort Line Canal Company. For some reason, I wasn't coming out there, but at any rate, he and Doug will work. They're the two that know how to run the distributor truck. And so they will be working with, the crews, both crews, and trying to kind of teach a couple of others how to do that. And the other person that did know how to do that was Aaron Grable. He was just in the learning process, he was also employed over at Fort Lyon. So I don't know, I think I'm gonna go over and scream at Fort Lyon, but yeah. They have to do what's best for them, but at any rate, so we do have a plan. We're not trying to leave, and it will affect the East End, so please be patient with our guys as they're trying to kind of do whatever it is that they need to do, but we do have a game plan, and Monty will handle the day-to-day things, the signing, making sure that we have the equipment we need, whatever, those kinds of things, and I'll just try to kind of coincide with him and work with him until we kind of get somebody, and it is advertised.
Yeah, we've already-
As of yesterday, so.
When do you plan to chip seal that?
I do not know which ones they're planning. I know that they'll have to put on 34 Monday and Tuesday, the guys are gonna try and get some of that finished out because they're trying to hit between runs. And so they'll want to, they put dirt in there right now, to kind of build it up. So they'll need to overlay that with, the asphalt. But as far as which ones they're wanting to chip seal, I don't know, so I'll have to ask Doug and Robert and see which ones that are. I haven't gotten that deep in the woods as to which ones they have in mind. They have a rotational pattern, and I visited with Robert a little bit yesterday. He said that it's recommended that they do them about every 5 years on each road. He said, we can't do it. Just, we're lucky if we get about every 7 to 8 years, just because of the cost. And last year, per mile, it cost me about $25,000. And that's not the equipment, not the manpower, that's the oil and the chips. So that eats into their budget really quick, as far as trying to do too much of that. So that's why we're not seeing it. And Robert said, used to I could afford to get 10 loads and we got 4 or 5 on the other end to kind of keep up with that, but because of the cost and the oil isn't open yet, so we don't know exactly what it will be. We're estimating that's kind of what it will be again this year. We're hoping it doesn't skyrocket anymore. Yeah. So with that said, is there a motion to appoint Monty Canfield as the interim supervisor for East Road and Bridge?
Madam Chair, I would so move.
I second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. We have a letter of interest, two letters of interest. For the senior center board.
So Madam Chair, having looked at both of the, we have 3 positions that are currently open. And having looked at the letters that we received, I'm prepared to make a motion today that we make an appointment for one of them. Ms. Marmon sent a letter that described her background and her interest and just her intention to be able to work on the board. The other letter that we received was vague and just really didn't give a great deal of information about background or interest or I would prefer to sit that on the table while we still continue to have this advertised. I know the county's advertised it formally and our senior center director, I saw her on her little Facebook page earlier that she's actively reaching out to individuals who might have an interest. And so I would prefer that we hold off on the appointment of.
Okay,
that.
so your motion right now would be to,
My motion, I would move, Madam Chair, that we would appoint Mimi Marmon to the senior center board.
I second.
moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we are just full of drops and ads. It kind of goes in cycles, I swear it does, but letter of resignation on the public health board, and that came from Richard Gallegos. I personally have served on that board since I've been a commissioner. He has been an outstanding piece and part of that. And because of some of his learning from public health, he has been able to move over to Valleywide and do a lot of their management. So but his position is in Lahana, and so he felt like it was.
As is his residence.
Yes, so he felt like it might be best to do that. So that said, is there a motion to accept his resignation?
I so move.
And I would second that.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. If you could announce that
Yeah, I'll put it on there.
for us. And then if any of you in here know someone that might be good or might like to serve on that public health board, and Richard and I, neither one had any medical background. We do have Morgan Clark in there right now who teaches the nursing program or is part of the nursing program teaching at LCC. She has been a really strong, great link for that part of it. It doesn't hurt to have the financial background, which is kind of where Richard and I, the business and financial aspect of it, but someone that might be of interest, well, send them our way. So. Okay. I have, some paperwork for, sorry, Leonard, we needed to add a couple things, and I'm sure I told you earlier. Tactical interoperable communications plan, and it is a region-wide operations in the events of emergencies, that kind of thing, so it'll be for the 6 county region. Riley Frazee, if any of you know him, is our regional coordinator for those kinds of things. And each of the counties and different parties within the county, so the ambulance, the fire departments, well, mainly it's ambulance, if there's a health agency or a, whatever. So they have asked that we would also sign on to this. There is just a huge document that they've been putting together about how we
400
operate.
pages.
About 400 pages?
Yeah. I believe it was 395 or something like that.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I did not read the whole thing, I skimmed it. I
I
read
didn't
it
read
was
the
a
whole thing
lot of
either, but
pages.
Went through some of it, so.
So, but I did check a couple of things that I thought, might be of concern, and I didn't see anything that I thought was. And it's a federal thing, it also helps us to bring in some money into our community and stuff, so. Anyway, is there a motion to approve that?
Tell me what it was called again.
I'm gonna send this paper over to you, because we only need one of those, and you can take that right off the top of there.
I so
Second that.
You're not gonna read the whole thing of what it is?
no.
All right, moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. I will return this then to, Lisa.
Did you second it?
I think it's only, we only need
I
you.
know, but who made the motion?
Oh,
Aye.
Alan.
I think Alan did, I seconded, sorry.
Sorry.
You were handing
I
that to me,
can't
I thought you were
spell
asking me
and
to.
hear it.
That's okay. Well, and it's such a difficult one anyway, they're kind of contracted. All right.
I thought that said inoperable, I had to look at that word like 3 times.
I know, I kept looking at that.
Like, why would you want an inoperable communications plan?
Yeah. And there it even lists who might have ham radios that in a major emergency could still communicate with each other. I mean, there's,
Yep.
it's very interesting, but there's a lot there unless you're really into it. It's pretty difficult to read through a lot of it. Anyway, all right, so our ongoing situation with the jail and then trying to put it back into, better shape than it was. We have received some, contract agreements or at least bids, quotes, from Daniels Construction to do a number of things in B pod as well as E and F pods. Is there a motion to?
And laundry.
And the laundry.
Thank you, yeah. And we did tour that day before yesterday,
Yes.
and just kind of to get a better feel for what's happening or what's.
What was being, just what was being proposed, we really needed to both talk, so both, Mr. Daniels and the plumber and the electrician that he's going to be subbing with, if these are accepted, met with us, so we could ask all the questions we wanted to ask, we met at the sheriff's office, so we could see the drawing on the ground.
We've got a
Which was
large-
just incredibly helpful.
Got an enlarged drawing of everything and it was a lot easier to follow and I've got one on my desk and you're welcome to have a look at it after the meeting and
So, Madam Chair, we can have a discussion after I'll put a motion on the floor, but Madam Chair, I would move that we would, accept 2 proposals from Daniels Construction today. One, for the work in B pod in the amount of $130,709, and I'll give these to you so you can actually see it. And the second one for the work, the rest of the work that we just described, in the amount of $274,557, which should complete the work that was, identified when we had, 2 separate states over the course of the last year. And among other things, so, I would move that we would approve those 2 proposals.
I second.
Any discussion?
Why, yes. This has been an expensive venture. This has been work that was unanticipated and therefore unappropriated for funds for, this particular work. That it became clear during the course of this last year, that, the jail, and some of this goes back to when the jail was originally built, way before our time, that there were some things that were done that were just unbeknownst to us or to the sheriff, or apparently to the sheriff before Sheriff 6, that, needed to be rectified. In the process as well, there were just other things that were identified that just, were wise to be done, you know, and an example is, we talked about the laundry. And this has been like this since the beginning, but I think the paradigm has shifted in terms of the activities of inmates, frankly. And, the commercial washers and dryers that they have are about this far from the wall. They have a flex pipe of, a flex line for gas line that could be easily tampered with. Electrical, just the electrical shutoffs, just a number of things that when you start looking at it through a different pair of eyes, say this just is not safe or appropriate. I mean, one of the pods, they're taking the opportunity now, I don't know, if you paid attention to some of the legislation that's coming down the line, but there is legislation that's being contemplated right now and it is likely gonna come to fruition, that there's gonna be a statewide standard for jails. And so part of that includes ADA compliance, among other types of things. And an approval of these projects at this time will give us the opportunity to look into the future and to make those improvements and changes now and be ahead of that curve prior to the 2025, January 2025 or July, whatever, drop dead date to be able to get some of those things done. The total cost, and I think I saw you had that written down there. We did accept another proposal from Daniel's Construction about a month or so ago. That was for the hardening of the ceilings, that, as you've read the news, has been problematic. And these other things are the electrical and the plumbing and certain things being done with the enclosures and the walls. So our hope is that with these projects, except for ongoing maintenance moving forward, this is gonna be the end of the major work. The total of these is gonna be right around $500,000, including the one that we already accepted. And the commissioners already spent funds last year to get some of the just initial emergent things addressed and taken care of. And so it's just a tough thing to think about making expenditures out of an already tight budget. Part of the good news that I see is that the expenditures last year that we had made were not as high as I had thought. It was more around $200,000 out of our commissioner's capital line item, which is still real money. I get that, but it was less than I had envisioned in my mind. And there are sources of revenue coming in, even through the sheriff's office, that we will be able to appropriate to help offset the cost. So that's just all I would have to say at this point in time.
I have a question on both of these. If you look,
Certainly.
our labor rate for Eric and Dwight is $100 on one and 75 on the other. Then labor is 35 on both, but skilled labor goes on one of them is $45 an hour, the other one's $50 an hour.
You know,
I was a little
think
curious as to why we were
that would
doing.
have been a heck of a question to have noted when we said. I didn't know that either.
I didn't see it, yeah.
I think that's a totally perfect question to ask of them. What I want to suggest for the sake of being able to move forward with the project, and that's what we so choose to do, is to approve these, with a willingness to make adjustment to the bottom line cost if those numbers aren't. You'd think those numbers would be commensurate with one another, I guess. Or we can get them on the phone.
It some of it, or at least on the skilled labor end of it, I suppose, could be the level of
types of
skill
things-
that's required, you know,
The
the
types of
different
things they're doing.
specialties that are in there, and possibly Eric looks at his, or Dwight and Eric both look at theirs in a kind of in the same manner as to what skills are required and
For those particular activities.
but that, again, something we might wanna discuss with them.
You wanna try to ask them?
I don't care how we do it, I just happened to notice that last night as I was trying to review all this stuff, and I went, oh, wait a minute, so. I guess we could try and call him.
I don't know what I think that's. Yeah.
Is that Jake?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me pull this one up here. See if I can do it.
Please dial a one.
Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, that is Jake's number.
Daniel Construction.
Good morning, Leslie, how are you?
I'm good. Who's this?
This is Jane Sykes. Hey, I've got a question for you. First of all, is Eric in?
Yes.
Could I visit with him for a second, please?
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
You probably want to tell him up front that he's in a public recorded meeting, just for his sake.
Good morning, how are you, Eric?
Pretty good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, you're in a public meeting, recorded, so we have you on a speakerphone, so just so you know. But we had a question on your, two bids that we looked at the other day. So one is for the rental on Pod B, the other one is, the, ceiling work and the laundry room, etc. So what we're looking at is for your labor rate on the B pod, you and Dwight both have $100 an hour, whereas on the other one, it's $75 an hour. And then your labor is the same, and then the skilled labor is, one of them is 50, the other is 45. Can you help me out with that and help me understand what?
Yeah, but that's all kind of boilerplate stuff in there that I updated, and I must have put that on the old ones.
Okay. We just wanna make sure we know what we're signing here, or not signing.
Right. Yeah, sorry about that. That was
It's okay.
kind of confusing. Let me get in my computer. So basically whichever one's the 75 needs to be moved up to the 100. That's the updated labor rates.
And then the skilled labor would be up to 50.
Yeah,
And then Eric, this is Kim. What does that do then to the bottom line on the, so the bid that has the lower rates on it currently is the one for the, like the larger of the two projects, the one for the laundry, the F-pod, the courts, et cetera.
Okay. Yes, I mean, it doesn't do anything to the bottom line. And I'll open this up and can I email you the new one so we've got it on the right, got everything right?
Please,
That'd be fine.
if you could email that to me, I have my computer up and I can just print it out.
You bet.
You need my email?
Yeah, let me grab a piece of paper here. Okay, go ahead.
So it's all lowercase, Kim dot McDonald, and I will spell that. It's MacDonnell at bentcounty.net.
Benton County is all one word on that, Eric.
Okay. And yeah, that doesn't, on the bottom line, that doesn't really do anything. So where that comes into play, the labor rates, where that comes into play is so like if there's any change order stuff, then you guys know kind of what we're charging. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So, yeah, on the B part, we got 100 for my dad and I, and then labor is 35, and skilled labor is 450. So, profit margin, so, let's see. Is that all everything that you saw in there?
That's the only
Yes.
thing that we noticed, yeah. We just wanted to clarify it before we,
Right, and just understand if there was a way that intersected with the bottom line. And so I appreciate your explanation about that.
Here and here.
Well, there you go.
Put in there, Dave's dealing proposal.
Is it sent?
Yeah, it should be, if you refresh it, I don't know, sometimes it takes a little bit, but.
I know, that's what I'm doing, so.
Especially with this.
I just wondered if I was wasting my time because you hadn't hit send.
Want to be discouraging, but it took like, I was mailed some, I forget which way it was from my personal account to the business or vice versa, and it took like 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, I just got it. I just got it, so hang on.
Oh, okay. Okay,
All is right with
that's a
you.
lot. Yeah, I know some of mine, that I've been trying to send on my phone have been, I don't know what the deal is, but they don't go through, and I go back like the next day and it's this little red triangle saying this didn't get sent, so.
Yeah, I've had the same problem lately. I think we have too much stuff. Too many people on the broadband that it's a little hard on it, not to mention the load.
Yeah. Let me grab this, and I cleaned up one for each of you. I'm just gonna, oh, thank you. I'm just gonna toss mine so I don't have to think about it
Okay,
anymore.
Eric, we appreciate it. We're gonna go ahead. We do have the newer update one, so we'll move from there. Thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome, thank you,
You bet.
bye.
Should have told him since 175 that they wanted to see how far that's been.
Yeah, can this go to the lower amount, please?
Yeah, no kidding. You're a mess up. You get to eat it.
The thought crossed my mind too, but.
Okay, is there any other discussion?
Well, one thing about it is it will make it possible, hopefully, to house like DOC inmates and parole and LLB, and it'll be at a higher rate than we're currently getting, so that may recoup some of our expenses over this, so in the long run anyway.
Yes. Right.
I don't believe I heard you were gonna negotiate with Otero County Commissioners on per diem,
And we did.
We did.
and did you have a good compromise, I guess, or what,
I think we did, well, they have been paying, we have 65.75 now,
okay.
and they have been paying 60, so it's about a $200,000 increase for them. And, I mean, to their budget for us to have in there, so that's part of what we're referring to and trying to help us pay for this.
What is good,
What is DOC pay?
What is?
What does DOC pay?
80,
yeah, somewhere around 80.
between 79 and 80
Yeah.
per day per inmate. So it's substantially,
And in addition, on the Otero contract, we bumped it up from a minimum of, or they automatically pay for 35 beds and now it's 40. So,
whether
So,
they have
Whether
30
they have-
inmates or 40 inmates,
yeah,
they pay that same.
and then
base
anything
amount.
over 40, then they still pay the 65, but, so we're kind of guaranteed at least 40 inmates.
Okay.
Pay for 40 inmates, whether we have them or not, and I know the day that we signed the contract, they had 31 inmates at the time, so, you know, if we have a few of those, that kind of helps, the labor, it doesn't totally changes on really, because we still have to have enough staff, but,
yeah, we don't have, to credit them for any staff that they send over on this current contract either.
Okay,
So,
they're going into jail, aren't they?
yes, they are.
So this will end when that's complete?
Yes, so the contract that we did is basically through, they thought they would be
2025.
June or July, I can't remember, but anyway, they thought they'd be done in May, and we said, just to be safe, so we don't have to mess with this again, let's just go ahead and make it through June or July, whatever it was, of the following, of next year. just so that we're not renegotiating stuff in January, since it was late, and this way, everybody's we know exactly where we're at for the next few months till they can get things, because we know how construction works, we're waiting for their own stuff, so. Anyway. And I'm sure they are too, but, all right, if there's no further discussion or questions, are you ready to vote? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I continue to feel concerned about the money, but it is what it is.
I'm not concerned about
Okay, well, Kim, when they can't pay, these guys can't pay for it, it's coming out of your wallet.
it. No, I share that concern. That's why I had the lengthy discussion about how expensive this is and it's unappropriated. But there are ways within the four walls of our county's budget and even within the four walls of the sheriff's budget that we can offset this cost to a great degree. And frankly, the work just has to be done. We can't not do it.
Hopefully this will get us ahead of the situation
Exactly.
with the jail standards and stuff, so.
Yeah.
Motion passed. So I
And you let
will,
Mr. Daniels know.
yes, do you want me to, well, what I'll do is I'll send a copy to Jake as well. This last one. All right, any other business? New, old, or otherwise, any information? Oh, I know what else we need to do. Is just find a time with Roy, but I will do that. I'll look at your schedule.
Okay. That's absolutely fine.
Okay, anything else?
Reagan, were you just here to be a citizen to
Yes.
listen? Wonderful.
She looks tired. It looks like Nashville jet lag or something.
I do have some questions, not necessarily as a candidate.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Are they to do with business or? Okay.
No.
Okay, so let's go ahead and adjourn the meeting, and then we are more than happy to answer any questions.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you for joining us.
yes. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.